At this channel, we specialise in reviewing laptops, and one of the benefits of all the hard work and long hours that we put in is that we can pick up any laptop we want to use each day. Seriously, we've pretty much all of them here. So today we're going to do our annual end-of-year tradition where each of us comes on camera and tells you which laptops we choose to pick up and use on a daily basis. If you're interested in purchasing any of the laptops we talk about today, you'll find the links down below and on our website, justjosh.tech. Our website is the hub for laptop buying. You'll find specific recommendations for different types of use cases. You can even combine use cases together. Say you're a student who also wants a laptop that is good for gaming and video editing. Plus, we have a super helpful price tracker to ensure that you're buying when the laptop is at its lowest price. And of course, we link to the store currently offering the best deal. With that said, let's bring in our first victim.
Hi everyone, I'm Taylor, one of the editors here at JJT.
Taylor, there is one laptop I always see you using. Which one is it?
Well, you're obviously referring to the Strix Scar 18 from Asus. It is an absolute beast of a gaming laptop, coming in at 18 inches and nearly 7 pounds. It comes packed with powerful components like its 14th gen Intel HX processor and NVIDIA's RTX 4090 graphics card. Firstly, when you open the laptop, I'm greeted with that large 18-inch screen that gives me plenty of screen real estate for Premiere Pro. It has a super bright display with a wide color gamut. I also pair it with an external 4K monitor for even more space. Next, I love the keyboard on the Scar series, be it the 16 or the 18. Some people, like Cierra, find it to be a little mushy, but I can't get enough of it. I press down pretty hard when typing, so the mushiness kinda cushions my heavy fingers. Finally, this laptop has plenty of ports. I can plug in everything I need all at the same time without any cords or plugs getting in my way while I'm working. Props to the 2.5 gig Ethernet port, which is plenty of bandwidth for my editing needs. By the way, Josh does use a 10 gig connection for our rendering, but the editing I do on the timeline doesn't require that much data transfer speed. Anyways, obviously, this laptop isn't for everyone. It's large and weighs a lot. It has a poor trackpad, it gets pretty loud when its fans get going, and it isn't exactly what I would consider a budget laptop at over $3,000 for the config I'm using. But as far as these downsides go, they don't affect me. I always use it at my desk, I always have a mouse plugged in, I actually turn off the trackpad, and as an editor, I'm always wearing large over-ear headphones. So I basically never hear the laptop's fans anyways. Yes. $3,000 is crazy, but seeing as I didn't have to pay for it and it checks all my boxes, I am very happy with it.
What about at home, Taylor? What are you using there?
At home, I have a desktop for gaming with a multi-monitor setup, but when I'm on the couch working, I use a ZenBook 14X that Josh let me take home. We need to keep the laptops from the last 12 months in the office to compare newer models to, so this was one of the older ones we had lying around that need a little bit of love. I like its keyboard and how portable it is, at least compared to the Scar 18.
Alrighty, who's next?
Hello folks, my name is Cierra. I am a writer here at Just Josh Tech and I also appear on camera. My day-to-day use is pretty basic, Word, Excel, and Chrome. However, on occasion I do use Premiere to review videos.
So with that said, which laptops do you like to use and why?
As I'm sure many of our viewers know by now, I love the Asus ProArt PX13. It's a premium 13-inch 2-in-1 device with powerful components inside, built for creators. It has our current favorite processor, the AMD Zen 5 Ryzen 9 HX370, and it is paired with an NVIDIA RTX 4060. There is a cheaper 4050 model available too. What I like most about this laptop is that it's compact and lightweight enough to have on my lap during script reviews in your office, but it's powerful enough to run the Adobe Suite when I need it. I rarely feel heat or hear fan noise, which is super nice. Its screen has a high resolution, which means small text is easy to read as it looks very crisp. The screen's biggest downside is that it doesn't get very bright and is capped at 60 Hz, which is unfortunate when buying a laptop as expensive as this. This also affects gaming, so despite its powerful specs, you'll have a better time on something like the G14 with its fast refresh rate display. One thing I've noticed in my extensive use of the ProArt PX13 is it actually has a bit of deck flex on the keyboard deck itself. These aren't deal breakers for me, but I'd love to see these downsides fixed on the next model. Because I am a laptop researcher and tester, it's good practice to use a variety of them. So I sometimes put down the ProArt and grab other small 13 or 14-inch ones. I prefer to use these and just pair them with an external monitor at my desk when I need the extra screen real estate. One of the devices I gravitate towards on those days is the MSI Prestige 13 AI Plus Evo, which has the absolute dumbest name. It is a small, super light 13-inch laptop with a comfortable keyboard, high-resolution screen, and awesome battery life, so it's perfect for a long collaboration session. We're both very prone to distractions, which means completing a script can take longer than planned. The Prestige does have an odd arrow key layout, though, where the left and right keys are smushed up against the page up and down keys. I don't find this an issue, as I use the trackpad to scroll left and right instead. I also tend to frequently pick up the HP Pavilion Aero. This is a more budget-friendly, lightweight laptop. We have the config with the higher resolution screen, and I enjoy its slightly clicky keyboard. My main issue with both the Aero and the Prestige is that their lower performance starts to become a problem even when I'm just making our graphs in Excel. This is because our benchmarking data is large and complex with hundreds of rows and lots of formulas. This is a perfect example where just using Office is actually more demanding than you might expect. It really depends on what you are working on. In my case, having the more powerful ProArt PX13 actually makes a difference.
And what about at home? What do you use there?
Well, I mostly use a desktop that I built for gaming and productivity work, just like Taylor and Ethan. And lately, I often find myself using the Framework 13 that you lent me when I work from home or do my poetry. However, if I could bring any laptop home with me, it would still be the ProArt PX13 for its versatility.
All right, how about grab Ethan and bring him in?
My name is Ethan, and I'm the cinematographer around here, which means I am mostly using my laptop to review footage and for day-to-day office tasks. The main laptop I use is the MacBook Air 13. Earlier in the year, I did use the HP Spectre 14, which I liked, but it was just a little too heavy to keep carrying around with me. Plus, I never really used the 2-in-1 function, but I would definitely suggest that laptop if you are looking for a 2-in-1, or its newer replacement, the HP OmniBook Ultra Flip. The reason I use the MacBook Air is that it has a nice screen, a good trackpad, and is very light. I wish it had an SD card reader and a USB-A port so I didn't have to keep grabbing dongles though. I started with the M2 Air and I switched to the M3 model later in the year. Overall, I didn't notice a ton of differences moving to the M3 except for the fact that it felt a little snappier.
What about at home, Ethan? I know you do some gaming there.
At home, I game on a desktop, and then I have a MacBook Air with M1 for my D&D campaigns. I like the Air M1 for all the same reasons as the newer ones. I'm just waiting for a bonus so I can upgrade it.
I think Ethan deserves a bonus. What do you think, guys? Should we do a video where we pick Ethan a new laptop? Anyway, who's on next?
I'm back, and this time I'm standing in for our other video editor, Colin, who is remote in the UK. He uses a laptop for everything, work and home. His laptop of choice is the Asus ZenBook Pro 16X, which you can't even buy anymore. When it was available in 2023, it was marketed as a powerful laptop for creators. It comes with an RTX 4080 and 32 gigs of soldered memory. This is powerful enough for his video editing and also allows him to enjoy some solid gaming in his downtime, especially as the laptop has a 120Hz refresh rate display. He also likes the fact that the ZenBook Pro stays cool to the touch due to its unique thermal design. Its keyboard lifts up off the deck. He also finds that angled keyboard more comfortable. Another nice-to-have feature is the dedicated home and page-up keys on the right side, which are especially useful for editing. Some of the downsides he's experienced are its relatively dim screen at only 360 nits and its slow SD card reader. We thought it was fast, but when he was in the office trying to upload, it was quite disappointing. It's also heavy at over 5 pounds, and it gets quite loud, particularly in its performance mode. This is a downside of the laptop's cooling design. The noise from the fans is more audible as the chassis is literally open. He did actually try using Asus's newer video editing laptop, the ProArt P16, when he was here, and he did appreciate how much quieter that laptop is, mainly due to its closed chassis design and more efficient AMD Zen 5 processor. But he didn't like having to downgrade to a 4070 and a 60Hz display. One thing he is not a fan of on either the ZenBook Pro or the ProArt P16 is the Asus style. He doesn't find it useful for video editing and just ends up disabling it. This is a bit of a failure, as a video editor like him is who it's designed for. Now Josh, what laptops do you actually use?
Unsurprisingly, I use the most amount of laptops of anyone. My favourite is the MacBook Pro 14. To me, it just epitomises what a laptop should be. I like its comfortable keyboard, large high-quality display, long battery life, good speakers, excellent webcam, and phenomenal performance. It's a great laptop for writing scripts on and managing this business whether here in the office or out in a coffee store. Yet, it still has enough power to edit videos on and play my cheeky TFT games on. I made it to Emerald last season, which I'm actually very proud of. I did say our MacBook Pro 14 as I currently use many of the different configurations just to get a sense of how they actually perform. For most of the year, I was on an older M2 Pro 12 core spec'd up with 32GB of memory and 2TB of storage. I actually bought this one when I was frequently traveling for my older corporate job, as I wanted something configured to edit videos on. Nowadays, I'm mostly in the office or at home, and when I do travel, one of our editors can just send me a draft of the video to review. Because of this, our newer MacBook Pro 14s are actually stock configurations. I kinda like this because I feel most buyers buy stock anyway, so it gives me a chance to see if these are actually truly good enough for you. Right now, I'm actually bouncing between several of the new M4 models as well as the 12-core M3 Pro just to find out which I prefer. I'm probably going to do a long-term review, so get subscribed for that. Now, if you've watched the channel a lot this year, you'll know that there is another daily driver that I've been using, the Surface Laptop 7. For days I'm just doing office work and script writing, I often bring that laptop with me, as I really like that it's smaller and lighter than my MacBook Pro 14, yet it still feels just as premium. If you're wondering why I don't use a MacBook Air like Ethan, I just find that the Surface Laptop's keyboard is much more comfortable. This all being said, there are some issues that are starting to get to me. Many Windows applications still don't work on Windows on ARM, which is what these Snapdragon laptops use. In my case, League of Legends doesn't work and I have to switch to another machine. Also, the Surface's battery life is really mediocre, I'd say around 5 hours in real-world use. Some of this may be due to me running my laptop's displays at high brightness. Some of it is due to the Surface's small battery, and a bit of it is of course due to the Snapdragon processor, which just isn't as efficient as the processors in my Macs. When it comes to big, powerful laptops for video editing, I am loving my new MacBook Pro 16. I have the most powerful M4 Max model with 48GB of memory and 1TB of storage. It is noticeably faster than my older M2 Max MacBook Pro 16. That laptop was really struggling with our more complex videos. Even playing videos back from the timeline at 25% resolution would stutter. I actually skipped over the M3 Max MacBook Pro 16, we did buy 2 of them, but they just didn't really perform that much better and they got very warm. For gaming, I've been using the Acer Helios Neo 14. It's kind of my ultimate Windows laptop. I'm someone who, as you can see, does a variety of tasks on their laptops. Gaming, coding, video editing, and of course I like portability. The Neo 14 is pretty much good at everything. It has a very high resolution 14.5-inch panel. That means looking at small text is nice and crisp and easy to make out. When it comes to gaming, I find a 14.5-inch display is a bit more immersive than a 14-inch one. Might not seem like much on paper, but it does make a difference on a small laptop. It's got a full wattage RTX 4070 and a Core Ultra 9 processor, so plenty of performance underneath the hood. One thing I really like about this laptop is that it often goes on big sales, making it a really good deal. Of course, there are some downsides though too. It gets warm during gaming, its color gamut isn't wide enough for professional color work, it has a right column of special keys that you may mispress and takes time to get used to, and it's heavy for a 14-inch laptop. In fact, it weighs around the same as the Zephyrus G16, which has a larger display. Look, you may wonder why I don't use a desktop. Obviously, if you're stationary, you should. But folks, I'm passionate about what we do here, which is reviewing laptops. And I think the fact I use laptops for everything I do and the team uses laptops here in the office, it just gives us a deeper insight into what we are reviewing. With that said, I want to end by saying thanks. We have grown a lot this year and we have huge plans for 2025. We want to bring you high quality videos and more of them. On the website front, we want to add support for non-US buyers and the ability to set notifications, for example, when a laptop falls below a certain price. We can only achieve this with your support. Clicking the like button and getting subscribed is something free and easy that you can do that will help us grow. If you want to do a little more, consider becoming a Patreon subscriber or YouTube member, links down below. Till next time, as I always say, go do something awesome with your day and we will catch you later.